Hello and welcome to the DM's Book Club, a weekly book club podcast where we talk about some Dungeons & Dragons some of the time and how we could include it and improve it for all of our role-playing campaigns. Hello again, welcome back to session 4 of this world building. I hope you are all doing well, and I hope January, as I believe this will be out in January, is treating you as well as it could be. It is pretty icy and cold where I am, but I hope you're all enjoying the break, and hopefully you've had a good new start to the year. Obviously, we've spoken on the DM's Book Club about New Year's resolutions recently, myself and Hamilton, and and hopefully, wherever you are in the world, hopefully you've had a good start from here. Shall we just get straight into it? So if you've only tuned in, if this is your first time listening, first of all, welcome to the DM's Book Club. It is a hodgepodge of various different things, depending on what time you catch us, but today we are looking at session number 4 of the Ultimate RPG World Building deck, sort of storytelling prompt card deck. Yeah, that's the word. By James D'Amato, who is the author of the sort of Ultimate RPG series and also the previous host, of the One Shot podcast, and does a whole range of other things. You've joined us after 9 prompts so far, and we're going to do another 6 in the last 2 sessions. So let's get straight into it. So I've pulled today's 3 cards. And we've got 1 rumour card, 1 institution card, and 1 people's card. So the rumours, we did 2 rumours last time. So this will be the final rumour one. And then I believe that still leaves us with 1 people, 1 place, and 1 institution. So we're not fully out. But this will be, our final rumour one. We've done the history ones as well. As I said, that this deck has 5 categories. We've got rumours, institutions, peoples, places, and history. We've done all the history ones. We're about to finish all the rumour ones, and I've got the institution stuff. And I should actually get up my notes because it keeps telling us we need to connect things. But so far, I'm happy just to go with the vibe and see what works and what sticks. And as I've discovered playing through this or talking about this out loud, sometimes I'm really struggle to do so. So obviously it says in the instructions is that when you're playing with a group, you get 3 prompts each, and then you pick the one you like the most. So that's a little bit easier, whereas I'm sort of just doing it sort of straight, sort of like taking it out, going like, what could this be? Because I think sometimes it's nice to be put on the spot. Even if you can't think of anything good, at least you've got to be like, there must be something for this, and you keep percolating over time. So far we've done 2 places. We've done a battlefield and a place to eat. We've also done 1 institution, which is a union. We did a person, our version of Sarah's just done a schema. We did a history, which was a burial, a performance, and a punishment. And we had 2 rumours, finally, that finished off last session, an excuse and an opportunity. So I quite like, they're quite interesting ones that I might not think of straight away, but I will say that excuse one took us a little while to think about, I think, as did the opportunity. So rumours, I think, whilst they sound fun, I struggle to have anything to do with it, but we'll find out. So let's start off with our first prompt. We're going to go for the rumour card because that's on top, and it says, a curse. Choose 2 elements of this curse. So again, sorry, I know I keep repeating myself, but it's always good to recap. Each card comes with 2 elements. So the top element is pick some options, usually to fill out a sentence, like fill in the blanks, or just 2 options anyway. And then we have 4 questions. Sorry, I was just reading what the questions were. So 4 questions, which again would normally be answered by a group, but we're just doing it just myself. A curse. Choose 2 elements of this curse. Normally you get 3 things. It's usually two things and then the opposite thing. So this is interesting. It's kept it quite narrow. I guess you want curses to be simple and straightforward, right? It is bound to a family or a location. The afflicted will suffer death or worse. Treatments are difficult and or painful. The afflicted show clear signs of symptoms. People who are afflicted deserve it, and you must shun the afflicted. Ooh, interesting. Okay, choose 2 elements. Instantly, I think it's bound to a family. I always think family curses are really interesting. I think the one that comes to my mind instantly, which is not necessarily a D&D reference or anything, but there was it Holes? The book and the film, where the idea of their family was cursed through bits of bad luck. So I think it's bound to a family, this curse. And maybe it is show clear signs and symptoms. I kind of like that, but those who are afflicted deserve it. I think those are I'm choosing between those 2. Let's go for people who are afflicted deserves it. So it's bound to this family, and people who are afflicted deserve it. I think that's quite an interesting plot hook. So let me write that down. And I do like the idea that it's got stuff to do with bad luck. I kind of like that. Now, here is interesting. We've got 4 questions, but it says, if the curse is not real, what natural phenomenon are people mistaking for the curse? Do all afflicted understand that it's fake? Or, if the curse is real, what do people who are not afflicted fail to understand about this curse? What is the first true sign of affliction? It's interesting because we rarely get ones where it's like, is it either or? Like, because it has to be one or the other, right? It can't be both real and not real, unless you're doing some sort of deep dive meta level. Let's say the curse is real. What do people who are not afflicted fail to understand about this curse? It has to be to do with they deserve it, right? I think that's a very subjective thing about deserving, because obviously with curses like this, normally you have it in fantasy settings, like a witch has cursed a family, and it's always the firstborn, even if they've had nothing to do with it, but it's because they happen to relate to the person who originally did the bad deed, right? So I think like it's a wide net. So it's questionable who deserves it through this definition. What is the first true sign of affliction? I think it's when they come of age. I think it's some sort of like event. I think very much like, is it Encanto where, they discover their powers on a certain birthday? Something like that. Maybe it's like some sort of special event. And so they have to celebrate it in a way, like a bad luck birthday of some sort. They're like, oh, well, you're 13 now, guess what? Bah. So it's like a cusp of puberty is what I think. Something happens then. What do people who are not afflicted fail to understand about it? Because I think it's a bit of a miscommunication. They deserve it. Oh, how about this? Those afflicted deserve it, but I think maybe it's like an opposite problem. There was some sort of like bargain or deal with a witch of some sort, which was to stop the bad luck from happening, or to take things away from this particular family. Like maybe they went through a crisis, or maybe she wanted to help in some way, right? But then what happened was she got it mixed up. So now all the bad luck is attracted to these people. And it's never something really awful like, oh, somebody dies in a freak accident or anything. It's not like Final Destination style, right? But I think maybe what it is that they deserve it, but it was supposed to be a good thing, and now it's a really bad thing. So maybe it's not bad luck. Maybe it's just like they can't do anything. I'm just trying to think what it is. Like, basically, it's always drawn to them, whatever this thing is. And it's a nuisance. It's just a really annoying thing that they have to deal with. I'm thinking on the lines of like, pretty privileged, but everyone, it's like you can't get through to people. You're like, oh, for goodness sake, like stop chatting to me about these things. That sort of vibe is what I'm thinking. So maybe it isn't bad luck. Maybe maybe it is luck. Maybe it is. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. I think, but they deserve it. It's that narrow definition in the sense of like, they're not responsible for what happened. They just so happen to be related to the person, like grandfather, grandmother, great, that sort of thing. So that's what it is. It's not like all of them did something. And even then, they didn't do a bad thing. It just, I think it was a wrong place, wrong time. Maybe even a case of mistaken identity. Okay, hang on. How about this? What if it's a curse about you not having the tool you need, right? Like, it's that sort of thing where you go, oh, where did I put my phone? Where did I put my keys? It's like things that you need disappear. You put your hand into your pocket and you pull out something that isn't what you wanted. I'm thinking very much like Kenda. Kenda in Dragonlance, again, mileage may vary on like what kind of tropes they're sort of implying, but like they always are able to have what they need. Maybe it's that sort of thing where you're like, oh, I just had my purse here. Oh, I must have left it on the counter. It's that sort of thing where you forgetful, moments of forgetfulness and things going missing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe. Or maybe it is you are afflicted with a curse whereby you don't have what you need, is not what you want, but what you most need, right? So like, you're like, oh, where are my keys? And he goes, you don't have that, but you do have a banana. It's like, your potassium levels are low. Maybe that's what it is. It's that the items you have on you are always what you need, but not what you want. Maybe? Oh, I'm going around in circles a little bit. Let's go, make it simple. It's something to do with bad luck. Go back to bad luck. They deserve it because there's a mistaken identity. Bad luck always happens to these people. Minor bad luck stuff happens. And yet, maybe we'll just keep it like that. It's not, I fail to understand that not all of them deserve it. It just so happens that one person did something bad, and now everyone in that family is cursed as a result. Fine, keep it like that. When did the first signs start happening? Roughly around the age of 13, the edge, sort of like as people are going to puberty, like age consent, to the point where they have a celebration about, hooray, you are now officially an adult. I'm sorry, all these bad things are happening to you. Because I like the idea that children are protected in some way until something, like they break the kite that they got, all that sort of thing. Sure, we'll start with that. I think I'm trying to make it too complex when it shouldn't be. You've got to keep it simple, right? Next question. Who is the most famous victim of this curse? What was named after them? Again, I'm thinking of holes. It was like that no good, lily-livered, rotten great-great-grandfather. That's the quote, right? Something similar to that. Maybe I'll look it up. Hang on. It's all because of your no good, dirty, rotten, pig-stealing great-great-grandfather. Something like that. Yeah, I mean, let's borrow that, shall we? Okay, how about this? Most famous victim is someone called Great-Great-Uncle Bob. And they're no good. They were always like penny pinching or gold pinching. I think they're quite miserly in order to, like a rainy day fund. They were like, oh, well, I can't spend on this because what if, anything could happen, bad luck could happen. And maybe I've put something to involve with an owlbear. Maybe they took an owlbear. Oh, maybe that was it. Maybe they stole like an owlbear egg, like poached it. Maybe they were a poacher of some sort. I'm sure the owlbear is fine. But it's that sort of thing where that's sort of famous sort of thing. So now it says, this is all because of that no good, gold pinching, owlbear thieving, great Uncle Bob. I think something like that. He did this pretty shitty thing, but did it because he was under the belief that it will give him good luck. But actually doing something quite horrific, like stealing an owlbear cub away from the nest and the brood, actually caused more drama for the whole family. And so there was a curse by the spirits of the forest on the family to be like, that you're always going to have bad luck. There's no point trying to prevent it. And it feels like little acts of bad luck happen to everyone because of Great Uncle Bob. And maybe there is a way to, I don't know if there's no, none of the questions ask about it. So what is named after them? I think nothing's named after them. Maybe it's just something like, that'll be Bob. Like, maybe it's that sort of thing of like, that will be Bob's doing. I think it's something like that. Like, Bob's your uncle. There you go. Well, Bob's your uncle, aren't they? Yeah, I think it's something like that. It's a catchphrase that you get. Once it happens, it goes, it's clear that Bob is your uncle. Is your great-great-uncle. Right, and then the final question is, what name do people call the afflicted? Why? I think that's simple enough, like the unlucky ones. Maybe unlucky. There must be another pseudonym for unlucky. Like blighted, ill-starred, unfortunate. Oh, unfortunate sounds good, doesn't it? That's the unfortunate Smythe family, Maybe it's like, it's like a prefix or an honorific, like, unfortunate Kelly. Oh, there goes unfortunate Sheila. Yeah, I think something like that. That's quite fun. And I think why is quite simple enough. They are, it's just like, that's so unfortunate. When it's like, when they go, all these things happen, you instantly go, that is so unfortunate. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, like it's little acts of things like the wheel came off your cart on the way to town, so you lost an hour worth of trading in the market. It's little inconveniences. There, that's what I think it is. Okay, so let's go back to the top. Let's recap. It's a curse. We know it's bound to a family. Let's say the Smythe family. Again, this could be workshopped later. And those afflicted deserve it. It is something to do with bad luck. There are acts of minor bits of bad luck that seem to happen to the family members. And if the curse is real, which it is, what do people who are not afflicted fail to understand about this curse? What is the first true strategy? So they deserve it. It's such a narrow... It feels like... Sorry, it's not a narrow, but it seems like a wide net. It's the fact that they're related to the initial person who did the evil deed. And even then, it could have been a case of mistaken identity, but it stems from this root that the initial person, this great-great-uncle Bob, poached a owlbear cub from its mother because he thought that it would give him good luck. And it didn't. All it did was bring minor bits of bad luck, because that's not a cool thing to do. And as a result, because there hasn't been this reparation back to the forest or back to the, I don't know, local family hive of owlbears, all the descendants still have this like little bit of like bad luck. Like I'd say like 10% of their day always goes slightly wrong. When does it happen? When do we have the first true sign of affliction? Well, usually around the age of 13. They have, as a result, like a little bit of a celebration, like, oh, you've had your first bad luck thing. Because that's when they know that it's starting, like the curse still continues. Who is the most famous victim of this curse? I think it is this great-great-uncle Bob. And it coins this sort of phrase. This is all because of your no good, gold pinching, owlbear thieving, great-great-uncle Bob. And then this is sort of coined the phrase in the town. Bob's your great-great-uncle, like Bob's your uncle kind of thing. I think that's great. Again, needs a bit of workshopping. And then what name do people call the afflicted and why? Well, I've gone the unfortunate, so unfortunate and then a character name. Because everyone's just like, that's pretty sad, but thank God it's not me. Yeah, I think that's good. I will say, I'm not sure if I should answer if the curse is not real. I feel like it is real. So why would I talk about it, I guess, if it's not? So some of these questions, like I said, I think in the previous one, I prefer if there was just 3 questions rather than 4. But maybe that's just me. Next prompt we've got is institutions. Now, I did struggle a little bit when we did institutions, I think, in session 1. But we'll see what this one is. Okay, so we've got a gang is what we're going to do here. A gang. All right. I'll read it out. The first part, obviously, is the fill in the blanks. So we've got, this gang is led by blank. Oh, gang members see it as their purpose to protect blank, terrorize blank, and control blank. Fill in the blanks with 4 options from the following list. Keep in mind, though, that not every option will necessarily fit every blank. Now, that's interesting. That's the first time I've seen that. So we've got these options: is the city or neighborhood, wealth or respect, freedom or authority, a leader or a savior, the marginalized or the elite, weapons or illicit goods. So obviously, yeah, that first one, led by blank, weapons, illicit goods. I mean, we can tweak these things. Like instantly, because I see the word neighborhood, I'm thinking of a neighborhood watch. I think that makes kind of sense, right? So let's say this gang is led by the neighborhood. And its gang members, or residents, as we'll call them, protect... What do they protect? Let's say the marginalized. Terrorize authority, perhaps? Terrorize authority. And then control. Well, yeah, see, control is probably, it makes sense to be like weapons or illicit goods. Like, that's what it's saying, right? Control. Maybe I want to be weird about it and say, not wealth. That's too obvious, I think. Because otherwise then it becomes very much like a mafia type bracketing thing. Control respect. Weapons. Tell you what, let's go for illicit goods. I want to keep it easy for us, otherwise, I mean, we've already struggled with the rumour. Let's have a neighbourhood watch type of cover for this group. So our 4 questions here. What distinctive outfits or decorations denote membership in this gang? Oh, they must have a little pin badge. They have to have like a little pin badge of some sort, right? Okay, how about this? They have like a little shield made out of it's like a wood carved shield, like about the size of your palm. And it says their call sign. I like the idea that it's a neighborhood watch, and it's just like these people who've given themselves a little bit too much ego and a little bit too much power, so they all have call signs like Nemesis and Valor. Thinking of like Goose, Iceman, Maverick, that kind of vibe, right? So they'll have the name on it, and I think they also have stars, like little gemstones, teeny tiny gemstones or Montes or whatever, and they're like stars to say how long they've been a part of the neighborhood for in terms of like years. So you have someone that's like 2 stars. Again, I'm thinking very much like McDonald's, like how good am I, like sort of badges. There's probably some sort of Latin-esque or some sort of like common phrase, like motto on it as well. I can't think of one just now, but that's what I imagine would be on there. Or maybe it's like half a motto, half a phrase, and then when you meet someone, you're like, we watch the streets, and they go, to protect the innocent, or something like that, and it's like it's like how you know someone else is in the watch. I mean, maybe this is just a cover for a thieves guild. I don't know. What legitimate organization do their members control? Oh man, it's got to be like, well, it's the housing association, right? Housing association or the school, like the local school PTA or something of the equivalent in a fantasy realm. Yeah, maybe it's just like the local district housing association, which deals with it deals with providing services to everyone who lives there, make sure they have a good quality of life. Like I think they do really well, like looking after people, make sure they have somewhere to stay if they've come in with refugee status from other countries, perhaps. I think it's that sort of everything is actually legit. Like they are trying to help. What did this group want when it first formed? And how has that mission changed or been corrupted? Well, this feels very Terry Pratchett, doesn't it? I wonder if they formed because they wanted to hold... Oh, my gut is like a bake sale, but maybe it was like... maybe there's like in this housing district, there is like a park or a little bit of a village green, and they wanted to host like some sort of like... not barbecue, but like some sort of gathering, like a summer solstice gathering, right? And no one would get back to them, and they were like, no, you need to have all this planning permission. And in the end, they were like, sod it, we're just going to do it ourselves. And they did like a whole leaflet, like it was just a really well organized thing that had nothing to do with the city council. So yeah, they wanted to have a nice gathering for the summer solstice on the village green, and the paperwork and I think maybe this city had been under attack recently, so of course they're like, well, we don't have time for this. And it's like, no, this is vitally important for our well-being and happiness. So they just did it without it. And maybe there's a little bit of like, not a scuffle, but there's like sort of bad things in it. And I think, yeah, that's what they wanted to do. And it's changed now to encompass like maybe all community events. What is the illicit good? What is the illicit good that they're controlling? Maybe there is some ban on certain products in terms of like foodstuffs from other countries that maybe that's it. Yeah, it's something to do with that. So hang on, let me write this down. So they wanted to do a gathering for the summer solstice, and they just did it without planning permission. I do think of it as like maybe it's an educational thing as well, like educating your rights as a homeowner. Maybe educating your rights on like where what you can get from your local apothecary, like it's that sort of thing. Maybe they do like, those fix-it events where you come with like a broken lantern and somebody fixes it for you for free. And it's like giving back and, I don't know what the equivalent, but like, maybe they have like a horse, like I'm thinking of like transportation. So like load carrying, is it load carrying? No, working animals, right? And they come and they get their shoes replaced for free, like to help people, like that sort of those kind of community events. Those kinds of community events is what I'm thinking, right? And I think I say it's been changed. The illicit goods thing, I want to say, yeah, I think there's been a ban on certain products, like baked goods. I think they supply these baked goods, and there's nothing untoward about them. They're just really good. Like I'm thinking like proper baklava, maybe even like some sort of like sugary donut. Like it's a delicious like delicacy from maybe other countries that they don't want it here because of maybe rather than like ideological reasons, although that could be a big part of it too. I think there's something about maybe the ingredients that doesn't fit well with the healthcare policies, it's that too many numbers maybe. So it's some sort of, they deal with illicit sugary pastries from abroad. Maybe it's been enhanced by magic, like numbers or something like that, magical like ingredients. So it's not what's the word? It's not been. It's variable. It goes against policy. Yes, sure. The final question we have here is which PC appreciates their presence, or which PC fears them? I think the PCs would fear them. I think they're organised, but it's that sort of, again, it's because I watched Pluribus recently. I have this idea that everyone's really nice and pleasant, but they're all of one accord and of one mind. Maybe that's something to do with the illicit goods. Maybe the sugary baked goods thing, maybe it gives them like a slight, if it's been enhanced by magic, maybe there's a slight telekinesis between all the members. Or telepathic, not telekinesis, connection. So they all speak of one mind. Oh, there you go. The Neighborhood Watch is a hive mind. There we go. We got there. It's very Pluribus. Yes, absolutely. Like, in the sense of, you could talk to a young intern and they'd have the same knowledge as the face of the group, because they could just contact the other person. And what I liked when I watched Pluribus, this had this idea of like, they're non-threatening. They want the best for you. Your choice is your own. Your life is your own. But they'd be encouraging you to do stuff. So maybe even like they're protecting the marginalized and the terrified, because they're like, well, we know what's best for us because we're a hive mind. You should really join us. Maybe even like, oh, what am I thinking of? Maybe even like in the show, they can't kill. They can't hurt anyone. So maybe it is like, they're suggesting like vegetarianism, maybe like how to better meal prep and how to deal with waste management. And it's almost like they're not showing that they're better than you. They're just like really competent and efficient. But the way they do that, they've had to sacrifice their self, this individuality, not with consent as well. And so I think it's just a bit over like, oh, this feels wrong, even though it's a good thing. Oh, I like that. There you go. We got there eventually. Okay. So, this gang is led by the neighbourhood as a hive mind. The members, or the hive mind, I guess, seeks to protect the marginalised, those who can't speak up, and terrorise authority who they see as wrong, because it's like, you're not helping for the good of everyone, you're helping for the small amount of people. And they control these illicit goods, which we put out as these baked sugar goods, presumably from other nations, but actually is been enhanced by magic, and hence this hive mind, like telepathic connection has happened. Distinctive decorations that denote membership, they all have pin badges with their call signs on, even though they are all the same person. There's like little burnt shields with little stars on to denote how long they've been a part of the hive mind, and maybe a common motto or phrase on it as well, which they could use to indicate other members, although they don't really know who the other members are. Maybe it's supposed to be like, yes, this is how we know each other, but maybe try to, we realise that this is quite scary for you, Carol. That's kind of like, that's the vibe we're getting for. They control the local district's housing association, trying to help and improve. Basically, they're just trying to improve everything. I think it's slowly eking out into, say, the local farmers market, the local tavern, blacksmiths, etc. They're slowly increasing their sort of hive mind-esque. So what did this group want when it first won? Well, it wanted to do a gathering for the summer solstice because they felt it could benefit everyone, but they didn't want to wait for planning permission. It took too long, too much paperwork from the city council. And now they're hosting all sorts of community events and pop-up rallies for education and supporting those in need, and presumably recruiting new members. And which PC fears them? I think all would fear them when they've discovered what their secret is, because they're not threatening, but it's kind of like overwhelming, and it feels wrong. This idea that they're, yes, you've joined us. The joining, right? That's what it's called in Pluribus. They've joined us, and they had no say in the matter. And is there a way to reverse it, to get back oneself? Don't know. Maybe one of the PCs, like connections, gets joined by accident, and then you're having to deal with all that sort of thing. Nice. Oh, that felt a lot easier, actually, now that I've got it. Maybe I need to warm up with these things. The final one, which is another people's prompt, the final one for today. And we have a ruler. A ruler. Okay. All right, we've got another 4 options one. But keep in mind, not every option will necessarily fit every blank. Fair enough. So, this ruler is respected by blank, undermined by blank, influenced by blank, and challenged by blank. Wow, 4 different things there. And then we have 6 options, but obviously it's like or. So it's like this or this. Okay. So we have the people or elites, enemies or allies, gods or demons, luxury or vices, disease or wealth, greed or wrath. So a ruler to me indicates someone that's quite high up in authority, but I don't know if I want to do like a king or a queen, that kind of ruler, necessarily. Maybe I need someone with authority lower down. Maybe we want to do something like a sheriff or the local baron or something like, like something a little bit lower down that the PCs will probably meet, right? Let's do a sheriff. First fort, best fort. They are respected. Let's do it. It's like a corrupt sheriff, right? So they're respected by the elites, so maybe the richer parts of town. Undermined by the people. Maybe it's more of a, it's almost like they've got this position, but they have no experience. They're like, like a shadow, like a puppet. They're a puppet sheriff. Puppeted by the elites, perhaps. Influenced by... Could you imagine being influenced by diseased? I think these are really tricky, actually. Let's say, okay, hang on. Okay, maybe it's simple. What about it's influenced by greed, right? And then challenged by vices. Yeah, like I can imagine them being greedy, taking bribes, maybe spending the night or two with various individuals around the town rather than doing work. But they overindulge quite a bit on various vices, so they're no good at their job anyway, but they're really not very good at their job. Let's use that as our springboard. So the questions we have, so the first one says, what big move are they currently planning? I think they are planning to unveil a statue. Some sort of commemoration of something in town that's probably been paid for by these elites. And it's supposed to be like a real cornerstone of their leadership, I think. So they're going to unveil a statue. Maybe it's been paid for by like a big lobby party of some sort, like, I'm thinking like big farmer or like big blacksmith or big tavern owner. Maybe, let's face it, maybe it's Archibald's. Someone at Archibald's has like, because they've got the wealth stuff for it. Maybe they've paid a lot of money to have like a big Archibald advertisement honouring Archibald. Yes, there you go. I know I keep coming back to that connection, but I do think it was very good. Whose shadow looms over them? Hear me out. What if they're a member of the Smythe family? And their shadow is great-great-uncle Bob. So they've been put in charge, but they're undermined by the people because they're like, yeah, but none of this will happen. You're full of bad luck. And maybe they're aware of it. And so rather than try and like break free from this curse, they're just like, sod it. And so they when they see the finer things that they can get easily and it's not been tainted in any way, they are influenced by their greed to be like, this is indulging. So I think, they're part of the Smythe family that has this curse, and it's great-great-uncle Bob's shadow that looms over them. Nice. Okay. What do they need more than anything? What do they want? That's two different things. Need and want are different here. I think they want respect. They want respect from the people. And maybe the neighborhood watch isn't giving them that respect because they see right through this person. And what do they need more than anything? Maybe they just need to break the curse. Maybe that's literally it. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they've got a daughter or a son or a child that is coming of age, and they know they want to be able to break this bad luck curse on them so that they can live a normal life, because it's really maybe there's that sort of thing. They've realized it's been really affecting them and their decision making, and they don't want that life for their child. I think that kind of works. They need it. They're looking for a way. But what they want is respect. That's, again, it's the greed that's pushing them there. And then what do the PCs need from them? What do the PCs need from them? Oh, great question. Maybe they need access to Archibald's. Maybe they need to talk to the bigwigs in Archibald's. They've not been able to manage that because it's an entertainment thing. So maybe this is the person that can give them that connection. That's more of a quick one, but I think that's kind of got us something, right? So let's recap. So this is a ruler, this people, sheriff, maybe Sheriff Smythe, Again, we can workshop names later. They are respected by the elites of this town, but they're undermined by the people, presumably, specifically the Neighbourhood Watch, who is just a hive mind of said people. They're influenced by their own greed, presumably from the fact they've had this family curse, and they're constantly challenged by their own vices. It gets overwhelming and they overindulge, and so nothing gets done, really. So they are just rubbish. Their big move that they're currently planning is they're going to unveil a statue that's been paid for by Archibalds, who are lobbying to get maybe more franchises dotted around town. And that this will, because Archibald, the person, is someone that everyone kind of admires a little bit. Like there's a famous story behind it. So it's like, well, maybe this will up my cred, up my reputation a bit. Whose shadow looms over them? As we said, they're a part of the family that has this curse of bad luck. So constantly great Uncle Bob, maybe who was the previous sheriff that took the owlbear cub. What do they want? What do they need more than anything is that they are looking for a way to break the curse for their child, who is about to become 13 and is going to have bad luck for the rest of their lives if they don't manage to break it. What do they want? Ultimately, they want respect from the people, certainly from the Neighbourhood Watch folks. I think that's what they want selfishly. But really, they need a way to break the curse. It's kind of a bit of both, right? There's two ways we could play it. And in fact, what do the PCs need from them? Well, I think because of their connection to Archibalds and the way we've set up Archibalds as this like kind of really sleazy, like high entertainment place for the slightly richer people, no riff-raff adventurers can get in. I bet the sheriff can write a letter of recommendation so that they can get into Archibalds and meet with the higher-ups there. There you go. All right. Oh, another bit of a mixed bag, I think. I really struggled with that curse to begin with. And the Neighbourhood Watch one, the gang got there eventually. And the ruler got easier. So it gets easier as you go. But there you go. Those are our 3 for today's session. We'll be back next time with the final 3. And then hopefully, I don't know, can we make it something together for it? I'm not entirely sure. I'm enjoying them. There's some interesting ones here. I will say, I'm not a big fan of some of these options won't work. It's like, there must be a different way. There must be a better way of doing it. I don't know. Splitting them up. I'm sure, it must be flexible, some of these things as well. I do wonder if I should have answered that if it's not real question. But I kind of like to say that it is real. So, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the DM's Book Club. We'll be back next time with our final installment of the world building deck. But until then, friends, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the flip side. Bye!